Fan.
My man on the tuba. Somebody give him some shine, Manny. Fired up there, Double B, so we can hear my man on the tuba. Wow, wow, wow. He's coming back in. There it is. Oh, go on with that tuba. NFL Films music. Don't leave home without it. All right. Our daily Minnesota Vikings talker with Talkbacks, truncated version. And good morning. Talkbacks next segment, the penultimate segment of the Thursday 9 to noon radio show. John Hynes, coach of the Minnesota Wild, about 11:40. In the NFL, they, as I mentioned with Ben Lieber, they call them cut-ups or reels, film focusing on one thing, to be absorbed over and over, then practiced into reality. And, it's never going to happen, but I'd like to prepare a reel or some cut-ups for J.J. McCarthy displaying traits possessed by Tom Brady, Patrick Mahomes, Jalen Hurts, Jackson Dart, and Kyler Murray. Like with Tom Brady, he never got hit hard. Never got hit hard. I mean, I'm sure he did, but you know what I mean. He didn't run, didn't move. It was awkward when he did. But Brady would go on 5 or 7 step drops and would not permit himself to get hit if he got caught off guard. He would throw the ball away efficiently and responsibly. I'd like J.J. McCarthy to watch Tom Brady doing that over the years and just put that in his metaphorical back pocket. Patrick Mahomes. He never gets blasted. I mean, Patrick gets hit, and I know we had an injury at the end of the year, but he just never gets smoked. He runs, he slides the right way, and at the right time. Emphasis on sliding the right way and at the right time. I think there's something there to see. Jalen Hurts, same with Mahomes. Jalen Hurts plays all the games, just never gets himself hurt, and he runs, and he's very good at running, but he does it responsibly. He slides before he lets the on-charging rube smack him. Gets out of bounds at the right time. Now, we're talking about a 22-year-old quarterback who's going to be 23 this month, and veterans who it took a while to learn all this, but it would be great if JJ could start absorbing things like this now. Jalen Hurts, kind of same with Mahomes. Now, Jackson Dart, he's a kid at a time. He wants to truck you, and he's super aggressive and physical. He's big and he's strong. He had 5 concussions this year, all right? And when he slides, he still gets hit. He slides too late, doesn't run out of bounds enough, and he looks to truck you. Well, 5 concussions later, and with some maturity, I think that's going to change with Jackson Dart, with Stefanski, Harbaugh, or whatever new coach rolls in there, because he is very, very gifted. So that's part of the clips where it's we've seen this, and this. JJ, well, now let's watch this. Don't do this. Stop doing this. See, look at Jackson. Don't do this. Don't make valor the better part of discretion. Same with Kyler Murray. Takes too many hits. Slight of frame. Doesn't run out of bounds enough. Doesn't slide at the right time, and he misses games. So I would show the Kyler and Dart cut-ups or reels or clips as the opposite of Brady, Mahomes, and Hurts, and what they do to stay upright and in games. It's McCarthy still gets hit sometimes, even when he slides. So like Brady, throw it away before getting hit. Let's call it injury elimination mode, not injury management mode, injury elimination mode. Let's eliminate it. Brady, Hurts, Mahomes never, ever miss games. When they do, it's rare. They protect themselves while still making plays. We're on to a good one here, in my estimation, with J.J. McCarthy. It's going to take time, but we're on to a good one here once the maturity and refining sets in. He's starting to make throws that look the part. Most recently, the pass to Ben Sims inside the 10 in that game against Green Bay. Hey, that was a nice one. Next season, being more sensible about the hits, and when he runs, it just has to happen. Off-season study for me would involve Tom Brady, Patrick Mahomes, Jalen Hurts, Jackson Dart, and Kyler Murray. McCarthy's running is a weapon. His arm is almost too strong, and taking some heat off that fastball is going to come with time. But checking out those cut-ups of why Brady never got hit and still made plays, why Mahomes and Hurts can run and pass like McCarthy, but played every game because they made sure they didn't get hit the wrong way, and then Jackson Dart and Kyler Murray to see how not to do it when you're trying to run and throw at the same time. He does that, and I think he'll be no worse for the wear. Talkbacks, what do you want to see next season with J.J. McCarthy and or any pressing Minnesota Vikings spots you have? We will hammer them next segment, 9 to noon, KFAN.
Bonus Bucks is back starting next week on KFAN. Beginning next Monday, we'll have 9 chances for you to win $1,000 every weekday. It's every hour from 9 a.m. till 5 p.m. To enter keywords and learn more, and to KFAN.com. The cash thing, back starting Monday.
All right, FIBA, Fairness and Blakemore Act, anytime he produces 9 to noon, and yours truly opts to take talkbacks, we do have to have this disclaimer. Emphasis on the word have to. And I'm the one that says, well, the only thing I have to do is die. I choose to do everything else. Now we have to do this because you got a Green Bay Packers fan running the 9 to noon experience, all wound up and nervous about Monangai and DeAndre Swift and Loveland and Komet and super special Ben Johnson, just running for like Derrick Henry-like yards against his squad Saturday night. No! And, he has the opportunity to fix these talkbacks because A, I don't want access to them, but B, I don't have access to them. Well, he does. And that means as a producer for 9 to noon, yet a Green Bay Packers devotee, I can't prove it, but he's been accused in the past of fixing the talkback race so that we only hear the most vitriol, angst, and negativity we possibly can hear with Vikings-related talkbacks. So, as FIDA goes, famous in Fairness and Disclaimer Act, just know with what you're about to hear or the way it's phrased, the talkback requests were, if you were putting together cut-ups or a reel for J.J. McCarthy this offseason, I'd like him to watch Tom Brady and how Tom never took hits. And I'd like him to watch the responsible nature of the way Mahomes and Jalen Hurts run, the way they run and still are effective with the passing game. And then also watch Jackson Dart and Kyler Murray for how not to do it, because they're irresponsible with the way they run. Jackson Dart still has time to change that because he's very young in the equation. I don't know about Kyler, but they're irresponsible with the way they run, and subsequently they have to miss games. Put all that on clips and reels or whatever, and let the 22-year-old, soon to be 23, watch it and maybe absorb it and learn from it. And if you have talkbacks off that, but then I said, or any Vikings-related thought that may be working on your last nerve or something that like causing you to take out rent on the therapeutic Davenport of love, well, that kind of opened up things a little bit for the old Packer-loving producer over there, Double B. So let's throw caution to the wind and recognize the talkbacks that are available at the iHeart Audio app. Little baby microphone, you got up to 30 seconds to state your case in Covenant Court or voice an opinion, ask me a question, whatever you want. Here we go.
Well, speaking of things we have to do, I do have to play this.
Civil servant Kostitchka checking in here. Blakemore's bets. You find any casino that will take on penalty minutes for Foligno tonight. Mash the 4.5, the 6.5, 11.5, and then the 16.5. 5 for fighting, 2-minute instigator, 10-minute game misconduct. That's a mortgage payment.
Bruh, the mailman laid it out. If you're late to get your mail in Woodbury, that's because that mail truck was pulled off to the side, like searching for Foligno-related lines tonight. Hey, Johnny K. Kotishka. Great job, man. That was really good. And I mentioned that earlier with, I think, Double B. And I'm going to bring it up with Hynes 15 minutes from now. Is the first time the Wild played Seattle, or the last time they played them out in Seattle, and Dunn took that run. It was a Dunn run. at a done run at Zuki. I think Urov might have been the first one in there. Kaprizov trying to get in there, too. And I was kind of like, wow, look at Urov. Hey, here he goes, sticking up for his guy. Well, Foligno was inactive that game. He wasn't playing at that time. The Moose is on fire. He's going to be on fire tonight. And to have Moose by your side in a game like this, I think it's going to that's going to amplify things. So appreciate you, Johnny K, civil servant, Mr. Mailman. The Moose is on fire.
All right, Vikings talkbacks.
Hey, what up? It's Blake from White Bear Lake calling, and this is what they need to do to fix J.J. McCarthy.
Here we go.
In the offseason / next season, you bring in Kirk Cousins, you bring in Mike McDaniel, you alleviate the offensive coordinator job away from KOC. He goes straight into a head coaching only role and helps prioritize developing J.J. McCarthy. You bring in Kirk Cousins to also get that mentor role, and then we run back into the season of 2026 with Kirk Cousins.
Okay. I did a podcast yesterday with this guy I met in California named David. It's Skull State of Mind. If you want to find it on the X machine, Skull State of Mind. Man, we chatted for an hour and change. I really, really enjoyed chatting football with David yesterday. And this came up there from like when he took comments or questions. Where is this coming from? Pulling play calling responsibilities from Kevin O'Connell. I mean, to squeeze 7 wins out of Josh Dobbs, Jaron Hall, and Nick Mullins. Well, that right there is raiseworthy. And then when you got the quarterback that is experienced or you need, and you can use the middle of the field, which they will next year with McCarthy, it's working. I just don't understand where all this is coming from with pulling play calling from Kevin O'Connell. And the reason I say it is that I'm like, now granted, it's fan related stuff, but that's fine. Fans rock. But I've just seen it and heard it more than I thought I would. I think people are conveniently forgetting how potent this Minnesota Vikings offense has been a majority of the time for the head coach. McDaniels as the offensive coordinator, I like the staff they have now, and the staff's proven outside of the postseason, and that's something that has to be fixed. I will say this about Mike McDaniel, who was fired by the Miami Dolphins this morning. From what I've heard, he is one of the highest of high-end run game coordinators. Like his stuff when he was with San Francisco from a running game standpoint, and Juszczyk and Raheem Mostert and Kittle and Juwan Jennings and things like that, he's really, really good at that. As the point person and front person for a team, it didn't work with Miami. But yeah, McDaniel's not going to be available for long unless he wants to become a head coach again. So I like Mike McDaniel coordinating somebody's offense. I'm good here though.
We got about 6-7 of these, so I'm going to use this one to represent those style of talkbacks.
Hey, PA, this is Max from Egan. For me, what I want to see out of J.J. McCarthy next season is get ready to play the murmur. I want to see him on a different team. Sorry, the best ability is availability. Out of 2 seasons, he's played like 10 games. That's not a very good ratio. And I don't see him taking us to the promised land. There are options in the trade block that would do so. Make it happen. Let's win now. I'm sick of waiting. Bye-bye.
Well, Max, thanks for your opinion, and it's greatly appreciated here in the We Take All Opinions in the Covenant, and you formulated yours via the free iHeart audio app, and we played it. Like I told you, we got a race fixer over there. We have a Packer-loving race fixer over there trying to get people to turn allegiances from a quarterback and a team. But that's okay. That's my lot in life right now. So pray for me. Pray for me. Give me some more.
All right, well, here's on the other side of the coin.
Here's what I'd like to see from J.J. McCarthy this offseason. Obviously, he needs to work on his mechanics. I'm sure that'll be a focus for him. Secondly, maybe get a personal strength and conditioning coach just so he can strengthen his body up so he's less prone to injury going into next season. And lastly, I think he should do a little self-reflecting based on how he's handled himself on the field. He's got that dog in him, but he needs to work on his maturity just a little bit. If he can get those things squared away, we might have a winner.
Well, predictably, probably, I like most of that talkback. I don't know about the conditioning part. I think that was fine, but the natural growth from age 22 to 23 to 24 to 25, things are going to change, man. maybe even his voice. Always. I didn't, the 15-yard penalty when he trucked Blake Moore's guy K9. Be careful with K9 this weekend, trying to single up Roma Dunze. Just be careful with that because K9 ain't that much, in my opinion. But with that said, I don't mind. I'm with Lieber there, man. I don't mind trucking Keyshawn Nixon. I don't mind trucking people, but just don't go over the line when you let them know about getting trucked. And you may think I suck and I'm young, but I'm not going to be young forever. And I'm going to be here next time, man, next season to truck you again. I don't mind that. I from the minute after the Lions game, I saw that 9 thing pop up with like the alter ego. I hated it the minute I saw it. And this is my personal opinion, okay? And I've gotten to know J.J. McCarthy quite well over the last year. And maybe I'm wrong here. I don't think he's that kid. I just like if I was advisor, dad, or whatever, I'd be like, look at this. This ain't you, man. This is not you. And by the way, if you ever think it is you, you got to be better than you are now. Because when you start doing things like that, 2, 3, 4 starts into it, specifically involving respected safeties like Brian Branch, you have a bad moment, you throw a pick 6, you lose a big game, it's going to come back and bite you on the social machine for about 3 weeks. You really want to deal with that? So I didn't like that. I just didn't like it. I didn't really think it was the J.J. McCarthy I've gotten to know. The alter ego, the 9. I hate that bit. So I hope he eliminates it. But the lowering the shoulder on an adversary, and an adversary who everybody in the NFL knows is the biggest trash talker. And he's not. I mean, I've heard Keyshawn Nixon in pregame on the sideline at Lambeau Field trash talking Vikings. It's not over the top stupid. It's just back and forth, dog this, dog that, dog this, dog that. Keyshawn doesn't stop. I mean, he just keeps going at it. So I'm not surprised if McCarthy responded to something Keyshawn said, but JJ didn't back down. And I like that. I like that a lot about him. So anyway, that was a cool talk back. Give me one more.
Let's go one more here. More Vikings, not so much JJ related, but on the Vikings covenant of love.
Mike from Stone Lake, Wisconsin. Real quick, Brian Flores, I believe, wants to stay in Minnesota because when asked if he wanted to stay, he said, we'll see what happens.
Right.
That's a negotiation against the Vikings.
Good
if he
point.
wanted to leave, he would have said, no, I love it here, and then had the negotiating power against the outside teams. That's just my perspective. Curious of your thoughts.
Damn, man. I've never had a financial advisor in my life, but just turned age 60, started to think about some different things. I need my man there to manage my life and my money and stuff. I like how you laid that out. If it was the cliched, all right, you got 1 of 2 ways to go. And if you're right, you get to go to heaven. And if you're wrong, you're going to go to hell. So you got, that's a really, really harsh way to put it, specifically for all of my Christian brothers and sisters listening now, but you understand what I'm saying. I've always been, he'll stay. I don't really know what the market is for Brian to become a head coach. And that's simply off past performances of trying to become a head coach, the low-hanging stuff like the lawsuits, all that kind of stuff. So I've always felt he would be back here, and I still think he's going to be back here, but only time will tell. Davey, let's hook up with Hynes from Seattle around the corner on KFAN.
Hey.
You're listening to The Fan.
It's time to drop the puck.
That'll be tonight on KFAN as your Minnesota Wild close an elongated road trip out to the West Coast and Pacific Northwest, started in Winnipeg. And joining us now, one of our very favorites, somebody for whom we are always pulling, and probably will get a chance to see in a week at a Vox in the Box at Tria before they play Winnipeg. It's Minnesota Wild head coach John Hynes. Mr. Hynes, it's Paul Allen. How are things for you?
I'm great, PA. How you doing, bud?
Right on, man. Thank you very much for the time. Non-hockey before we dive into the hockey portion of the equation, and I probably should know this. Who's your favorite NFL team, and are they in the playoffs?
Well, being from New England, I am a New England fan, so that's they're in the playoffs. But so it's good. It'd be interesting to see them play. I think they got the Sunday night game, I think. So should be interesting to watch.
Yeah, I know you love the NFL as a diversion, like specifically on Thanksgiving and stuff. I don't really know how closely you follow it because you got so much going on that time of the year. But this Drake May, and to have a young player like that, and it's so wide open in the NFL this year, John, and that generally, like in the NHL, man, back in the day, the Kings win the Stanley Cup as an 8. In the NFL,
right.
It never happens like that, but it's super wide open this year. Know what I mean?
Oh yeah, we've been following it, so it's going to be good. I mean, it's even the NFL is a little bit like the NHL this year, where I think there's some teams that were down and out a year ago, or kind of quote unquote rebuild type of teams, and now they're in the playoffs and they're contending. So it's a lot of parity in both leagues from what I see. Yeah, then you get the old schoolers like in the NHL, like Ovi, like Ovechkin, or Sidney Crosby, Anze Kopitar, who you saw the other night. You get some of these old school immortality like guys, like Aaron Rodgers. I mean, just when you think Rodgers can't make the right throw at 40 whatever, he does. They're in the playoffs, and pity the fool who sleeps on the old Hall of Famer because he's old. You know what I mean? Yeah, for sure. I mean, those guys, as long as physically they may not be what they were, but they know the game. They can play in pressure situations. They can make great reads, and the reason why they've played for so long, and some of those guys are Hall of Fame type players, is they got that it factor that when it matters the most, they can hit a play, they can make a save, they can score a goal, they can throw a touchdown. That's why they are who they are, and it's always tough to underestimate those guys in any sport. I just mentioned Anze Kopitar. I mean, seriously, Kopitar and Doughty, are they ever going to retire? Feels like they started playing like in 91. You know what I mean? I know. Doughty, I think's got some time left in him. From what I understand, I think it's Kopitar's last year. Yeah. That what a great career he's had too. I've been a fan of his from afar. All right, how many? 14 days or 2 weeks? Seven games, I believe, after the Kraken tonight. How many times did you have to use dry cleaning on this 2-week journey? Luckily, I didn't have to use it as much. I got the suits made it through, and the shirts have been fine. So I brought enough shirts, so that's been good. So. Unfortunately, I haven't had to do too much, but the laundry it's getting time to get some stuff washed. That's for sure. Well, I mean, it's you guys have access to just the elite of all team gear. So, I mean, you can call equipment guy and be like, hey, I need this and I need this to, like, say, walk around Seattle, get some coffee, go to the fish market, see the Puget Sound or whatever. But it's kind of obnoxious walking around a road city in sports garb, you know what I mean? It just like draws attention to you, which I know you don't like. Yeah, we don't usually the players or the staff members don't usually wear the team issued gear in public. More around the rink or at the hotel, but not so much if you go out around the public. Given you guys have been gone so long, Coach, and don't take this the wrong way, please. A lot of respect for what you do and how you guys play, but given you've been gone so long, does tonight have some human nature to it in that people probably are pining to get home and looking forward, to it maybe a little too much against a red-hot team because stuff like that, distractions like that lead to losses. Do you have them guarding against that tonight, or does it not matter? Yeah, no, you certainly take into the human side of it. And, we addressed it yesterday. We had a practice and, talked about the trip and how we got to handle tonight and how we handle coming back. Don't forget we come back off the trip too, and we travel tomorrow and get in around probably 2:30, 4 o'clock, and then we play again on Saturday. So it's just making sure that our focus is what it is, and we try to give the players the opportunity to get some rest and get away from it when they can. But the fact of the matter is, this is what's on the schedule, and we need to make sure that that we're prepared to play, finish the road trip strong with a win, and then get ready to go home when that comes. But we got to be where our feet are, and where our feet are right now is in Seattle against a really good team, and we're coming off of 2 losses. So this should be a heavy focus. Right. I love how you laid that out, because again, if I believe distractions are the ultimate equalizer, and I do, you got what we just talked about, and people got kids, and you got FaceTimes, and you got people wanting help, and I miss you and all that stuff, which is part of life. But nevertheless, it can run a brother down. Let's just be honest with each other. But then secondly, about a month ago when Dunn took that run at Zuki,
Uroff had his back, I believe. I think Kirill was in the mix too. Foligno didn't play in the game. So, is that something that you have to think about tonight? Players ever getting too focused on retribution and subsequently making mistakes?
Yeah, I felt the last time we played them with the Dunn incident, I thought our team responded really well. We had a huge penalty kill. Obviously, Uroff stuck up for Kirill, and our penalty kill came up big and killed that penalty, which I think could have been a momentum changer for them. And then I thought we played hard and we played physical and we played the game the right way. And I don't expect anything different. Like you said, this is, we're coming off of 2 losses and we want to get back to our winning ways. And they're a team that's 8-1-1 in their last 10. So, we're anticipating, a strong focused effort from our group, but it's about winning the hockey game and playing the game the right way, not worried about what happened in the past.
Yeah, I like that. And coaches generally more focus on their squad than they do the other squad. So that makes sense. But with them 8-1-1 the last 10, they've won 8 of their last 9. What's gotten into them? I'm not saying like when you played them in early in December or whatever, that they were bad, but they're red hot right now. What's gotten into Seattle?
Yeah, I think they're playing a pretty good, strong team game. They've been, offensively, they're getting a little bit more than they had in the past. I think scoring wise, and they have a team that they work hard. They play with good structure, and some teams go through highs and lows during the season. And right now they've kind of they gotten out of a little bit of a rut that they were in, and that usually invigorates the team and individual players. And now they're coming in, and they're a hard-working team that, as I said, I think they play a strong team game, and that's always difficult to play against.
This is John Hynes, coach of the Minnesota Wild. Kraken and Wild this evening on KFAN. Then John's team's back on the block this weekend against the New York Islanders. Jojo, Johansson, and/or Brodin, good to go tonight? They feeling okay?
I would anticipate both players would be playing tonight, yes.
Excellent, good. Reinforcements, that's cool. So no Foligno the last time that you played Seattle. Forget the Dunzuki thing. It's just always nice to have Moose around. A, if things get goofy. B, in case they think he's there in case things get goofy. Then maybe they're a little off their game. But he's just a good overall player, isn't he?
Yeah, he is. He brings a lot to our team. But for all those reasons you just mentioned, but also just the player he is and what he brings to our team when he's up and skating, and he's one of our assistant captains. He's an emotional leader. He's a physical guy. He's difficult to play against, and so it's always good when he's up and healthy and playing hard for us.
When it comes to either Gus or Volstead, like what goes into that you can share? What goes into a decision as to which goalie's going to play against which team and why?
Well, it goes into so some of the things that we look at is the style of goaltender versus the team. Gus and Wally are both obviously very good goalies, but they are a little bit different in the way that they play. And sometimes the teams that we play, if there's certain tendencies that they have that we feel fits better for one of our goalies, then we'll make the decision that way. Sometimes it might come down to just who's playing better at a certain time. Fortunately for us, both have been pretty consistent this year, so we've been able to, whether it's just a straight rotation with them or pick and choose depending on opponents, which guy we feel matches up best against them. So that's how we've gone about it this year.
So with those two, with your goalies, and their puck playing ability. Like, how much does that factor into the way they play the puck against certain teams and how they handle things around the net? I would imagine it's pretty significant.
Yes, I think for us it hasn't been so much that, how they handle a puck versus what another team does, but similar to what you said, what they do around the net. Some teams are a little bit more, screen, funnel, shoot, tips, rebounds, and then other teams might be a little bit more east-west, high offensive zone, those types of things. So we kind of base it more on that style of play versus the puck handling stuff.
Last one. Do they embrace hockey in Seattle? I know it's still relatively new, but do they embrace it there?
Yeah, they get good crowds here. I think they've embraced it, and the building's usually sold out. It's a great building to play in. Crowd's loud. You see a bunch of jerseys and things around town on game days. Like we were here when they played Boston, and we were coming into town that day, and there was a bunch of people, walking around downtown with Kraken jerseys. So I think it's been a good addition to the league.
What makes a good building for you, if you don't mind me asking? Because, you guys get so focused on what's right in front of you and trying to win a game and keep everybody healthy. It's like Madison Square Garden can feel like Grand Casino Arena, which in turn feels like whatever they call where you're playing in Seattle. Know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. I think a lot of it's the energy in the building and, how the crowd gets into it and how they support their team. But usually, like in this environment here, the crowd is into the game, which usually makes it a good place to play.
You're awesome, man. And I'll see you next week at Tria if you have time. Keep everybody healthy tonight and travel back safely after winning tonight. Okay, John?
All right, PA. Take care, man. Thanks.
Yep. See ya. Bye-bye. John Hynes, coach of the Minnesota Wild, weekly 9 to noon. Thoroughly enjoy those conversations. All right. Good luck, Double B, with your team on Saturday night.
Thank you.
I know it matters to you from a distraction factor and like favorite team cred. How old are you?
I'm 29.
And so you've probably been a Packers fan for 20-ish years, something like that?
Well, I was named after Favre, so you can make the argument it's been 29.
Really? Your parents named you after Favre?
Uh-huh.
My son, Derek Allen, he's 25. He's named after Derek Jeter because we couldn't come up with a name. Well, we had names, and we didn't really know what we liked, but the Yankees were playing the San Diego Padres in the World Series, and while waiting, not knowing if it was a boy or a girl, I'm like, I love Derek Jeter. He's just Captain Cool. I'm like, if we have a boy, I'm calling him Derek. So subsequently named him after Derek Jeter, like you were named after number 4.
Yeah, I was born in 96, and they were playing a playoff game. They were watching in the hospital, and my dad just went, that's it.
That's fantastic.
So,
Jordan Love against this defense.
He has no chance.
Best of luck with that. We're really pulling for you. There's no doubt about it. It's
love thy neighbor.
It's low key. Just such a likable team.
Never heard anyone in my life who's more insane than Paul Allen.
Games at Soldier Field, so.
And the silence you hear is Lambeau Field.
K9.
Yeah, I might punch him in the face.
I just really find myself pulling for your squad on Saturday night. There's a lot of good things happening, man, and just all over the state of Wisconsin. I just can't be happier for you.
In your face, Milwaukee!
Thank you.
And the silence you hear is Lambeau Field.
All righty.
Stop him! Stop him! Stop him!
What do you mean?
You can't talk that way and be taken seriously.
Oh, shut up.
Why don't you put your pants back on, Slappy?
My pants are on, you drunk Slappy. Thanks for the help today. Appreciate you.
Of course, anytime.
Brett Blakemore, and I'm Paul Allen. Friday football feast tomorrow. Paul Charchian returns for a couple of hours, and we hope you listen for Double B. I'm Paul Allen. The program is around the corner at FM 100.3 KFAN. Have a good day.
Podcast today's Paul Allen Show, or listen back to previous show and interviews by going to the iHeartRadio app or KFAN.com.